What's up, nerds? Welcome back to Whitehall, Michigan. We are at Water Dog Outfitters, and we are now reviewing the Old Town Sportsman 120 Pro. It's new.
Dude,
it's different. It's better.
I'm so
allegedly.
I'm so hyped on this. So I've been an Old Town fan for a long time. I've been in every single pretty much model that they make, and I think they design a great kayak. I will say their designs are starting to get a little bit dated, and the list of things that we wished the PDL, Sportsman PDL lineup had was growing and growing and growing as kayaks have grown and changed, and we just got a huge update from Old Town, and it feels like they went down the list and they were like, check, 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 check.
They just took 7 years to listen.
Hey, that's okay. We got where we needed to be. And what we're looking at now is a tournament-ready rig with a really unique pedal drive system we're going to show you right now. What we're going to do is we're going to walk through the kayak front to back. I actually have right here next to it the Sportsman PDL 120, so the previous model, so you can compare side to side and compare and contrast. So if you're looking at both, we got them both here for you. And we're going to take it on the water, and Jeff and I are both going to give our opinion after we get a chance to get the thing wet and paddle it around and see what we can do with it. So without further ado, let's check out the front. We'll go bow to stern, walk through the kayak. Let's roll it. Real quick, I'm gonna blast through the Sportsman 120 PDL. So this is the old one. I've had this kayak, I've been in this kayak, and I've been in the 106, the 10'6" version of this. I'm just gonna go through general features and then things that kind of bothered us. So overall, I will say the bottom of this hull, the way this hull is shaped and the way that it actually moves through the water is phenomenal. It's one of my favorite hull shapes. It's a great balance between river mobility and then stability and then also space. So some things that kind of frustrated us with the prior model that, you know, as it's aged, we've kind of struggled with. First of all, not having this attached and not having it be on a hinge and having it not take up this whole area makes it hard to get things in and out. Struggle with that quite a bit. So front hatch was one thing that we were like, hey, add it to the list of stuff we got to work on. Another thing we struggled with is not being able to easily mount a trolling motor on the front of these kayaks. So there's no 4-ball pattern. There's not even space for you to drill in yourself. You have to get a custom made mount for the front, like a plate to make this work. We really struggle with that. So that was always an area of concern. Moving on back, this is probably my favorite pedal drive in the industry. It floats, it's indestructible. It's got the waterproof pocket up here in the front. I just have always loved this. So I would change nothing about this drive. I really
don't worry, they didn't.
Yeah, we didn't.
It's right there.
We are good. But right here, you'll see there are 2 sets of tracks. There's just not enough track in this boat. These are the only tracks in this boat. So if you want them on accessories, fish finders, whatever it is, you're gonna struggle. You're gonna have to add them aftermarket, and it's gonna get in the way of some other things. So not enough track. That's a big one. The seat, I actually really like this seat. It's got a couple quirky things, but I really like this seat. And if you're moving on back, another thing that's kind of a challenge is getting under the seat and storing things under the seat has always been a problem. There's just not a lot of room and not a lot of clearance right here, so getting stuff in and out is a real challenge.
And a pocket for nothing.
And a pocket that really, frankly, just doesn't do very much. Another thing we've kind of struggled with is this is right in your way. This is where a lot of your accessories like to be, and this is just this moves your, well, if they weren't bungeed, like they should be, this is gonna deploy and retract your rudder. And then moving back here, really this not being open, it's okay. It's not bad. You can put stuff on top of it, but it tends to shift around, but it is great to have the hull access. Moving on back again, good amount of storage, but this is the largest size they make, and it's not a ton of storage, and it doesn't fit a lot of the new crates perfectly. So there's a lot to be, we like it, but it's not the best. Also, you notice how thick these gunnels are. It does provide a lot of stability, but it does eat up a lot of your space. That goes for the whole front and back of the kayak, kind of a struggle there too. One thing that's always really bothered me, this is a forward-facing rod holder. One of my favorite features on a kayak, a flush mount forward-facing rod holder is such, this is icing on the cake. The problem is it's on the left-hand side. So if you're a right-handed angler, which the majority of us are, you're fighting fish to the right hand, you have to switch hands, put it down, grab the fish, do the thing, switch hands again. If this was on the right-hand side, we'd be like, hooray!
Don't worry, hooray!
Well, we'll see about that.
Say hooray!
Hooray! And then lastly, back here, you have a very, very offset. So not only is it turned, but it's only to one side, really limiting on your ability to mount anchors, motors, whatever it happens to be. You struggle with this quite a bit. Another thing that can be a challenge is wiring electronics. So we're talking about drilling through the hole every single time. There's really no way for you to easily get from the inside of the kayak to the outside of the kayak. It's nice that they have the transducer mount, but that also means that all the cabling has to be outside of the hull unless you want to drill a hole. Yes, there are options, but you know, a pain point, newer kayaks, they have this really easy ability with some through-hole kits that are included with the kayak to make that easier. So that was our huge checklist that was growing every year of things that we wanted to see differently on the Sportsman lineup. Well, guess what? We're looking at the new PDL 120 Pro, and there's a couple of different models, but this one right here, they just went through and fixed almost everything that we were looking for, and then a couple of other things. So let's start with the front. Up here, 4-bolt pattern right on the deck. Lots of room here for you to do what you need to do. So plate, quick release, whatever it is, you got it right here. You get a track right here as your handle. So I like this a lot. There's a plastic piece under here, and that makes that a lot smoother to grab onto. But we're doing a little bit of double duty here, but a pretty easy fix. Just go ahead and add some track. You also, what the heck is that? Well, this is a port. So this is a through hull kit. So this is gonna allow you to run wiring, waterproof to your trolling motor or wherever you need it to be right there in the front. That is a huge win. We also have a much larger hatch cover here. This is a big win. We're taking advantage of all of that space, and we are able to access the entirety of this, what is now a pretty cavernous opening. So this is a huge win for me, and actually probably the thing that I'm actually most excited about. Just such a simple win, but really does enhance the user experience. Makes life a lot easier. There's also 2 ports right here for running electronics. If I were to move this motor out of your way, you would very easily be able to see our 2 through-hull ports. So again, your transducer's going down there in a recessed port, electronics going through here, batteries on the inside, super clean, not a lot of cables out and in your way, and a really, really big upgrade. All right, another thing you're gonna notice is we have internal rod storage. So you've got your rods in the back here with space for your reel butts going all the way to the front and storage. Now you can really fit 2 rods into each one of these. So we're talking 8 rods, especially if you have sleeves on them, but 4 is phenomenal. I mean, that is the sweet spot for sure. Not taking up too much room, but a great opportunity. I love these tray pockets. I've always loved them. They hold a 3600 size box vertically or just all your stuff.
Same as the old.
I love that. You have 2 more ports that they added here. And what is this? We got our forward facing rod holder still flush mounted on the right-hand side. Outstanding. So we have a drillable plate here for your electronics. This is a massive win. So whether you're mounting something here for something like a Newport controller arm, or you've got electronics popping out for the same type of thing, that is a massive win. You also notice this super long track that also doubles as a handle. We still have our handles here. They're not in the way, but we did get like an extra 3.5 feet of track, which is awesome.
Dude, this versus this is such an insane difference.
Yep.
And it's not even the rest of the track.
Oh, we're not even done. Track goes all the way to the back. Not a lot of kayaks have this much track, certainly in one piece, right? Like one piece length, that is super long. It actually curves, which is kind of insane, all the way to the back. And yes, you can top load these. Another thing that we're seeing as a huge change here is the seat. You'll notice it is running on this track, on this bracket. You still don't have a lot of clearance, which I still don't love, but there's a lot more space. So getting in here is so much easier. The seat is raised quite a bit. I do like that a lot. And you didn't lose your access. So if the seat slides forward, you still have your mid-hull access. Not a lot of kayaks have this, and this can be a huge win, especially if your battery can fit in here. So if you're running a smaller battery, like a little bit smaller lithium, dude, what a huge win, being able to balance your kayak out. Another thing too, you'll notice I was able to hold on very easily to the entirety of the gunnel. So the side of this kayak is thinner, which makes way more room in the back here. So if you come back here to the PDL 120, the old one, I mean, we got a significant increase in the amount of space in the rear here. So this rear tank wall is ready to go. And also you'll notice, what the heck is that? Access for the rear. So when you're doing your installs, we don't have that back there. This is a massive win. So not only do you have the ports, yes, you can drill through these, by the way, but you have access to get your hands inside here so you can actually mount on what is now, yes, they're both offset, which is annoying, but you do have 2. So if you want to do shallow water anchor and you want to do a motor, you can do that. If you want to do 2 shallow water anchors, whatever it is that you need to do, you can get it done. And then you deal, frankly, I'm going to say it's unfortunate. I don't love the way that this works. I think Jeff would agree with me. Some anglers are going to love it, some don't. But the 2 gripes I have is, 1, I don't think we need this. I think we would have liked to see it inside, even though I know they're not wanting to change the bottom of the hull. Also, this rudder is okay. But when it flops down, they make an upgraded rudder that's a little bit, well, quite a bit fatter. It's about twice as fat and a little bit shorter, and it handles so much better. Also, Navarre makes an upgrade for this one that's made of metal, and it makes a world of difference when trying to steer, especially if you're a river angler.
But a nice thing about that is that they switched the release to the side.
They sure did, yeah. Huge
it's
win.
out of the way, so that's actually a bigger win than most people would think.
Especially if you've been in this kayak for a number of years, it's actually easier for you to pull up versus on the other one, you have to like push it to the side, which can be difficult. So overall, they basically took a huge checklist of things that were like, look, as kayak fishing has advanced, what we're seeing is I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. And the time is kind of walking away from the original Sportsman, which is, again, has been a great kayak for a long time. Awesome hull design. But we got all the upgrades that you want to see in a modern kayak on an outstanding hull design. To me, this is a huge win for Old Town and anglers that like to be in an Old Town, but would like to see some of the latest and greatest features that we've come up with over the last 5-6 years. So a couple things I want to mention. First of all, you can get this with the ePDL drive instead of the PDL drive. So if you want that electronic assist, if you want to be able to park your speed and just let it roll without adding anything except for a motor, you can get that done. So I like that. And also the price on this. So $3,500 for the PDL drive as you see it here. I think it's a very reasonable price, especially when we consider what this is going up against, because this is going against the likes of the Hobie Pro Angler, and it's significantly more expensive. So I think you're seeing they're trying to drive the value and they're trying to give you what we've been asking for, which is latest and greatest features.
All right, let's jump into the new Sportsman Pro PDL 120 Pro here. This should be a lot of fun. Well, I guess I might want half a paddle to push off. Oh God. Try, get out of the way. I'm trying. Rudder down. There we go. Adjust my seat up. Okay, we're good. Here we go. So first trip, 120 Pro. This is kind of fast too. Now we're out of the river. We're into more of the main lake here. All right, so we're the Sportsman PDL 120 Pro Edition. Look at this thing. It's gorgeous. This is a beautiful looking boat. I like it a lot. Let's scope this sucker out a little bit. I'm gonna just pedal up for a second. Speed feels good. I've always liked these drives. Seat, really comfortable. Kind of a classic Old Town feel to it, which I've always liked. Let's check our turn radius here. Watch the horizon. I've got this fully cranked to left. Oh, that's not bad. Considering it's also just the included plastic rudder, you can always upgrade that, get a metal rudder, or they have one that's much thicker. Highly recommended. I would go with that. Being that this reminds me a lot of the Hobie Pro Angler 12, is that it does feel a lot more tippy than the Pro Angler 12 does. I think it's a little more narrow. It's not as wide as that boat is. So that would make sense. But let's check out, other than speed, which feels great, check out stability. Oh, okay. I mean, you're gonna be happy in this. Like, stability wise, I feel very comfortable up here. Good standing space in it. You can see that we're bringing in some water here. So there's nothing in this boat right now. There's no tackle, just me, 230 pounds. You're gonna bring some water in through the hull. You got that extra like secondary stability there kicking in as we go off to the side. So it really wants to hold on to the water. You're not gonna be too uncomfortable in this, I don't think. I say the seat feels lower than I thought it would be. I thought the seat would be up higher. A little more used to like the native tight neck seat, Pro Angler seat, and the XTR being up a lot higher than this one is. So this one sits kind of low. That's okay. Overall, I could see this being a lot of fun to fish out of, you guys. Really reliable pedal drive, pretty good speed, good stability, turn radius is pretty sharp. You'd be happy with this for sure. Got it. I could jump off the front. Thank you, sir. All right, you guys, I'm gonna get in the Old Town Sportsman. This is one of my favorite kayaks of all time, the original. I had the same gripes as everybody else, but if they fixed them all, it's gonna be really hard for me to not get back in one, because I've absolutely adored my 106 and I've always loved the 120. So, but it's still super cool. Let's give it a rip. Just like my old guys. Little paddle got to push off here. Help me out. Don't break, don't break, don't break. Pedal drive clips in the same as the old one used to. Oh, this is like Jeff's setup for like a massive individual. Well, long. Jeff is tall. I love the stability right off the bat. The speed combined with the stability is insane. This rudder, it needs to be metal and it needs to be shorter and fatter. It just will be better. My favorite pedal drive. The heaviest duty, in my opinion. Floats, huge win. Waterproof compartment, big W. You get, I mean, truly instant feedback. That, when they talk about instant reverse, not a joke. It's instant. It just grabs so much faster. I love this pedal drive. Stability, oh yeah. Are you kidding me? Yo, turning around, not a problem. Look at all the room in the back, all the track. Dude, what? This is ridiculous. Holy smokes. Let's get on some open water. Let the horses eat. Let the horses eat. I wonder if it's long enough to get a captain's bridge across here. Because with your pedal being here, yeah, you probably could. Something comes up and over. But then it's going to hit your drive. So if you pull your drive out, it's right in the way. Oh no. That is frustrating. So like, I don't know where, you can't really center mount electronics. You have to go to the sides, which is fine. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. That would have been a huge improvement. I would love to have a hinged latch. That's like a hinge in the front. This thing's just attached, it flops around. That's not for me. This is still a massive improvement. I'll take it all day, but I'm probably adding some hinges. Bumper boats, bumper boats, bumper boats.
Do it.
Don't make me.
I dare you.
I would, but the rudder's not good enough. The location of the forward-facing rod holder is 5 times better. Yep. Holy crap. Although a spinning reel is gonna hit your tackle box if you try and use this as a tackle box holder. You know what? The other thing I noticed, this foot grippy is like not where your feet go. Like when I stand, I'm standing here, but there's nothing there. That's kind of weird. Do you notice like there's no padding where your foot is? There's padding where your foot is not?
Yes.
What is that? This is to me the perfect balance. I've always loved this hole on the bottom because the balance between stability and speed and maneuverability is unmatched. It is like the perfect fulcrum. Like
as soon as you tip this way, that secondary kicks in. It's like
it grabs instant. I've never felt like I was gonna fall out of this boat in any scenario. And I've been on comparatively, yeah.
Did you notice that pedal drive slipping at all?
No.
It felt like it was slipping on.
Oh, let's hoof it.
But also,
did you have it locked in the front?
It was locked in. I checked it multiple times, but I think that it was just really shallow.
Maybe. You ready to go?
Right.
Not. It's yeah.
Old Town PDL. LTE.
Yeah. Way faster. That's because of thin blades. I've been saying. Oh, it slipped. Yeah. I've never had that happen. What? It's slipping now. What the frick? This is faster, not by much.
That has a smoother pedal.
Way smoother.
Rotation.
Way more secure. So this is the biggest thing. When you go to pull in and out, I'm not using a paddle. There's no way, because all I have to do, turn one easy clip, pull it up, done. That one, you got a plate, a knob, pull it up, turn the blade to lock it. Like, no man, I've never liked that. It works, but comparatively, Old Town has this one on lock. I've done this so many times. And look, I'm done. You can't, that's unmatched. Absolutely unmatched.
Paul, what did you think about the PDL 120 Pro?
Look, after being in it, it's oddly more stable than I thought it was going to be. It almost feels like when they took some of this weight out of the...
That was you. It's fine.
You jerk. It almost feels like when they took some of the material out of the inside of the hull and moved it to the thin gunnel, like this, a little bit extra rigidity really almost helped secondary stability. So it wobbles like a very small amount, very small. It's super sturdy, but then you immediately feel that second wall of secondary stability, and it's rock solid. Jeff and I talked about it. The Hobie 360 is more stable. The Titan X is more stable. This is close enough where it's not gonna matter. This is a very stable kayak. Super happy with that. We come up to the front. One thing I noticed, like almost immediately was you're not really going to be able to get an electronics setup in a center mount. With this is how the motor pulls out, or this is going to be in your way. There's no, you might be able to put something way up here, but then it's in the way of your hatch. So yeah, you're going to have electronics on the sides. That's just one thing to call out. Not a deal breaker, but it is a reality of this setup. As far as pedal drive, it's as good as advertised as it has been. I've always loved this drive. It's still my favorite. It's just really, really good and solid. But one thing is the pedals are a little far away from the seat. You can see I've got it completely all the way up here. You may be able to get it. Can you get it further? Do I have to take all this back? Let me undo this strap. You know what? Maybe now that I'm seeing it, and then here, you have to do your back one. There you go. Oh, you can. Oh, you can. Okay. Phew.
You can move it even further.
I was very worried that this wasn't going to go forward.
It goes up to here.
It goes up to here. Okay.
And all the way back to here.
All right, my short kings, you've been vindicated. This kayak is for you. I take everything back.
That's you.
I'll have to cut it from that video. Hey. Look, it's a big deal though. If you don't have the flexibility, you can't get to the pedals, you're going to be mad. So that's not a problem. I still don't love the rudder. Like, it doesn't give you an amazing turning radius as is, and it's in the way of the hatch. I just don't love it.
They have a big old upgrade.
It does work. You can make an upgrade. They have it here at Water Dog. You can put on the shorty fatty, and it's absolutely going to make a huge difference in your turning radius and the responsiveness. It's going to be a huge help.
All that said, the turning radius wasn't too bad.
Not terrible. It's just not phenomenal. Look, all the features worked as we thought they would. So all the fixes on the checklist of like, hey, fix that, hey, fix this, I think everything worked out as expected. Everything else inside of this kayak worked really good, super stable. It was faster than the Native by a hair. By a hair. But that's a 10.6.
Yeah.
That's 10.6.
And lighter.
Very fast drive and way lighter. And
almost half the weight. That's
crazy.
That's half the weight of this.
Yeah, and this is heavy. That's one thing we didn't mention in our walkthrough. This is a heavier kayak. Like
150 pounds.
150 pounds. Anything over above 125, I consider to be a heavy kayak. Even in its class, it's still heavy. That said, it was very maneuverable. It is a water ballerina like some of the other large kayaks that we've seen in the past. So I think this is overall, if you like Old Town, if you like that base, that hull, which I think you should, it's a wonderful base. This checks a ton of boxes for you. And at 3,500 bucks, dude, like, you gotta feel really good about that. So I think some huge wins, a couple of misses, but some major wins. This is a monster upgrade. Good job, Old Town. I think overall we're really happy with this. A lot of people are gonna be really happy. So great job, Old Town.
And with that, we're done with another kayak walkthrough review on the water test here at Water Dog Outfitters. We got another video. We actually have made a bunch of these, so if you haven't seen them all, check that out. We'll probably make a playlist. So.
I mean, what do we got? We got the XTR, the Slayer LTE, the Shoaly, and the Smalley. So we got a whole bunch of them in there.
Yeah, we did a bunch, so we'll make a playlist. It'll be linked in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hopefully it was helpful for you, especially if you're trying to pick the right kayak for you. And if you're in the Michigan area, you should come up to Whitehall, Michigan, and check out Water Dog Outfitters. It's a fantastic place. Thank you so much again for watching the video. Be subscribed, like, all that cool stuff. We gotta go film another outro. We'll see ya. Bye.